A great man among many accomplishments, one of which he took a TW200 to the North Pole. The TW200, a motorcycle first produced in 1987, and has changed very little in the past 3.5 decades. I'm sure you've seen it in videos, even on Marketplace, and you probably know by now that these bikes hold their value well. But is it a viable dual sport? With respect to the T-Dub, Yamaha also makes the XT250, which is generally at the same price point, and some could argue it's much better than the TW200 in almost every way. So why is it that the T-Dub has such a following, and why do they hardly sit at the dealer new for very long? In today's video, let's break a little bit of that down and explore what makes this motorcycle such a fan favorite. What's up guys, my name is Andrew and I wanted to personally thank you for clicking on this video. I tried to make an entertaining review of the TW200. I didn't want to bore you with specifications as if there's plenty of videos out there that you can go find that information, and instead this is my experience personally with this vehicle and to give you how I feel this vehicle can be useful to you, or maybe it's not the right bike for you. I primarily ride motorcycles off-road, so if that's something you're into with dual sports, dirt bikes, etc., be sure to check out the channel and subscribe for more content like this. And also, one last thing, if you do end up watching the video to the end, make sure you let me know in the comments below so I can give you one of those hearts. Thanks for being here, I greatly appreciate you. Let's get into the video. So let's talk about the TW200. And firstly, let's talk about why I bought mine. Well, it was the start of the pandemic, and so many people found motorcycling again. I wanted this particular bike from my girlfriend at the time to ride with me, since I had some extra time off. Once she seen the videos, she knew this was the motorcycle she had to have.
The seat height's, I believe, 31 and some change, so you can basically, or maybe it's about 31 inches, you can basically put both feet on the ground pretty easily. Yeah. Flat foot one, or both.
I can definitely flat foot one. I'm real short, like my legs are short, so.
So you feel more comfortable in that than something like the DR here?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
See, the TW200 is a great beginner bike with a mild power band, but for most of all, it's great for shorter riders. It is so much less intimidating than a full-size dual sport. If you're a new rider and you want to learn, this is an easy bike to learn on. In fact, I've heard that some motorcycle training programs use this particular motorcycle for first-time students, and to me that kind of makes sense. But okay, so we know beginners like this motorcycle, but that doesn't explain why they are so sought after, and why so many people hold on to these for such high prices. Well, the bike has character. I mean, look at it. We have a rear tire up front, and nearly one of a kind for a rear tire. There's no other bike like it. I mean, there's a couple slight similar counterparts out there, but nothing compares to the look of a stout TW200. But since this is a review after all, I would be remiss not to point out some of the shortcomings of this motorcycle. So let's talk about some of that, and then we'll talk about some positive things. I mean, the real purpose of this video is that viewers can leave with more information overall than they did when they started. So my biggest issue with the TW200 over other dual sports is the availability of rubber. The stock tires are deemed the death wings. They are not great off-road, and I would say pretty much they're bad off-road on anything other than light gravel. The front tire, which I highly recommend swapping out, there is a few options. Since it's kind of a rear tire altogether, you can do what I did and go with a Shinji Golden Boy, and that looks like this. So if we go over to our tires here, this is the Shinji Golden Boy right here. And I highly recommend swapping out the front. And this is a great tire to do it. You can see it's got great pattern. It's that one right there. Now the rear tire, on the other hand, there's very few options. You can either go more road exclusive, or you can be one of those crazy guys that mounts an ATV tire to the rear. In that case, it's probably road dangerous. And also a counter to that is the ATV tire will burn out really quick, and they're a huge pain to mount from everything I gather. They just don't seat the bead correct. So next thing I should talk about, if we're talking about negatives, would be road manners. It can get up to 55 miles per hour relatively fast. But in my opinion, after that point, it's very limited. I have heard that you can get this motorcycle up to 65-70 miles per hour, but that would take an extended amount of time, as well as a big, long stretch of road. And anything over 50 miles an hour, you're not overtaking anyone. I mean, let's just be honest here. This is a 15 horsepower, 5-speed motorcycle with a 196cc low compression displacement engine. You know what you're getting. Now, the two other minor gripes that some people may say is the dash is dated, but that never really bothered me. I feel like that gives this bike some old school charm. farm, and other people complain about the fuel tank size, which is only 1.8 US gallons. The bright side is, at normal RPMs, the motorcycle can achieve 78 miles per gallon, giving this bike an okay overall range. For long distance trips, it's simple enough just to pack a Rotopacks. That alone will add another additional 50% to your range. Now, if you have an older model TW, you do have a drum brake in the front and rear, and if you have a newer model TW, you no longer have your kickstart. That's a trade-off. Kickstart backup is nice. At the end of the day, it's not necessary, and it is nice that you don't have to deal with a drum up front. Drum brakes aren't the best when dealing with off-road situations, so it's nice to see that at least that was changed. But enough negativity, let's talk about some things that make this bike awesome. Number one, this bike is dead reliable. I've never in my life heard of a TW leaving someone stranded over mechanical failure. Being a single cylinder, low compression, carbureted engine, this thing will go forever. It will not get you there fast, but it's pretty guaranteed to get you there. The looks and aesthetics we have already mentioned at the start of the video. Yes, I think looks are a big thing with this motorcycle because it's one of a kind, and a lot of times people will buy it on that alone. And we have to mention the huge aftermarket for this motorcycle. This is a really great thing, and it's really important as well. This goes hand in hand with the bike being around for so long that you could probably find a YouTube video for every single modification or maintenance item that you need or you could ever do. So that's wonderful. And there's definitely things here and there that you might want to replace. Like you can buy these super cheap foot pegs because the stock ones are made for a child. Stuff like that, the tooling's been out forever, so there's very inexpensive options. A good skid plate is a pretty good idea as well, and maybe a rack. If you want to see some more great TW mods after the video, check out my Amazon store link below. I'll list some of the ones I really think make the TW a better experience overall, and some of the ones that I've used. Another thing to mention is the weight. It comes in at 278 pounds wet, which is a lot less than many other dual sports out in the market, but more importantly, since the bike is stout, it's very easy to pick up if you were to drop it. Lower compact styling saves the day again. Another couple applications that I feel the TW would excel at. One is a city block-to-block style riding. It is small, it's easy to maneuver, it's easy to stop, to start, to go down alleys if you need to, anything. This bike would be great in a city, and you're not ever taking up too much space. Next would be farm use. Arguably, this bike was made for this purpose. To have it out on the farm, just fire it up, run back and forth, whether you need to check something out, glass out the horizon, run home for dinner. Either way, this motorcycle makes a great addition to any farm. And lastly, I would say somebody that's interested in doomsday survival prepping sort of thing, this motorcycle is great for that as well, as it is very economical, it is very quiet, and since it's a standard low compression engine, you can put basically any trash gasoline in it, and it's just going to run and take it like it doesn't matter. My overall experience with it is it's fun.
One thing to note about the TW is there's a lot of raw fun here. And how low it's geared, it can basically climb anything you point it at.
It's the least intimidating motorcycle I've probably ever been on. My first dirt bike I ever started with when I moved to transition to two wheels was a 1996 XR250, which has a 36-inch seat height. So nearly 20 years later, jumping on a TW200 with such a low seat height and compact styling felt almost like easy mode. Oh, I'm about to fall, dive my foot, no problem. Oh, here comes a hill. Oh well, lean over the bars, it'll climb right up it, no problem. So it's just fun. Now, if you and all your buddies decided, hey, we're all gonna get TW200s and we're gonna ride around, you would have a great time. If you're in a pack of riders with KTMs, Husqvarnas, maybe even some Hondas, Yamahas, WR250s, etc., you're going to have problems keeping up. But at the end of the day, this bike was never meant for that type of riding. If you want to build it out to be a really small adventure bike and you like just cruising around at slow speeds and taking in the beautiful scenery of riding, this is a great bike for you, and I highly recommend it. Overall, it's a versatile little machine. This bike excels at many things. You just can't expect it to keep up and do things it's not made to do. It has its place, and me personally, I hope they keep making this motorcycle forever, just the way it is now. Before I go, I'm going to leave you with a cool picture montage of some completely custom TWs. Seeing these really opened my mind to what you can do with this motorcycle. I hope you enjoyed, and as I said, let me know in the comments below if you watched this long. Please subscribe for more dual sport content. That helps me out immensely, and make sure that all my viewers get to see the videos, and I hope you enjoyed. My name is Andrew, and this is Motorcycles Off-Road. Stay safe, guys.